So it's definitely attainable. Biden highlighted a few policies last week during his nationwide address. Some of the policies he is implementing is that he wants to do away with mass vaccination settings in hopes to get smaller settings. He wants to be able to target the younger crowds. People are not going to drive 45 minutes away to get a vaccine. So he's hoping to bring the vaccine closer to younger people, as well as people in rural and more poor neighborhoods. Let's take a listen as to what Biden said last week regarding his goal.
Our goal by July 4th is to have 70% of adult Americans with at least one shot and 160 million Americans fully vaccinated.
Now, Ben, here, the question is not exactly, we've got some news here on the vaccine availability, so we may be having a fourth vaccine available here and FDA approved in short notice. Of course, that news about the increased availability for children. But the question isn't exactly the availability of the vaccines. We have more vaccines than necessarily we can use. The question is how we get people to take them. What policies are people looking at to try to encourage those vaccines?
Right, so you've hit a spot on. People are hesitating to get the vaccine. Pretty much, if you want to get the vaccine today, you can get it. But people are hesitating to get the vaccine. Biden implemented some policies last week, like I mentioned. He's wanted to introduce pop-up bans. He wants to introduce a whole slew of ideas to bring the vaccine to people. He doesn't want people going to get the vaccine. He wants the vaccine coming to the people. So that's exactly that. Also, like you mentioned earlier at the top of the show, the FDA, as of this hour, is approving the Pfizer vaccine for the age groups of 12 to 15 years old. Keep in mind, children at the age of 2 years old plus, they can get approved to get the Pfizer vaccine as early as this September. Also, a fourth vaccine from CureVac, that could be on the market as early as 2 months from now. That will get European approval before it gets American approval on the world fronts to get the vaccine.
And if you think about the COVID numbers around the United States, cases are going down. How much is the vaccine helping that, and will that change potential CDC guidance?
Right, so cases are dropping dramatically across the United States, especially here in New York State. If you take a look at the graph you're seeing right now, hospitalizations are continuing to trend downwards across the New York State. Keep in mind, there are still COVID cases that are not being reported. On average, New York State is averaging now 2,500 cases a day for hospitalizations, as well as the cases. The vaccines across New York State, 40% of New York State residents are fully vaccinated. Let's take a listen as to what Governor Cuomo wants to do for college students, because college students are the ones who are driving the vaccine and COVID cases up and down.
No excuses. SUNY and CUNY boards will require vaccinations for all in-person students coming back to school in the fall.